Um, this is a video that's going to be talking about villains. A video response to Deadpoolzilla's video about how he likes the villains better than the superheroes or heroes in general. I kind of agree with that. The villains are just fun. You can do so much with them. Um, you can change them up and make them darker. You can do all type of stuff with villains that you normally can't do with, especially the iconic heroes like Batman, Superman, um, Spider-Man. You know, characters like that. But you can't really play around with those characters. But you can do it with the villains. Um, you know, back in the day, Joker was a really campy villain. Now he's a really crazy villain. And it's kind of cool to see how they've evolved. Um, I really think that they are just fun to just play around with. I would write a villain story myself too, um, like a backstory on a certain character, or make a character that's kind of, I don't know, kind of lame. I would make him cool. Like, um, I think Tony Daniel is doing it right now in Batman, but the Riddler, everybody just thinks the Riddler is just like this campy, lame. He just does riddles. But if I were to do him, I would make him a lot more interesting. Um, um, I guess a little more darker and just very smart and keen. Those are my favorite type of villains. The villains that are just like the bad guy but are evil. Like my favorite villains from Batman isn't the Joker. Despite the picture I have up with Joker and Batman and Spawn and the Violator. Um, my favorite Batman villains are Prometheus, Hush, and Black Mask. Um, because those three really represent who Bruce Wayne could really become. I think Bruce Wayne. I think Prometheus is like the anti-Batman. Hush is the anti-Bruce Wayne, and Black Mask. I think Black Mask is really just kind of a mix of what would happen if Batman had of what would happen if Bruce Wayne just became a mob boss. And those are my favorite type of villains. Like Venom is the Spider-Man. And Carnage. Those are his opposites. Like I love those two have the best road galleries. Spider-Man and Batman. And I just love villains like that, and they are just so fun to play with because you really get to see what the hero would be like if they were evil. Like Owlman, he's also an evil version of Batman. Just great. I love it. And you know, those villains are just really cool and awesome to play around with. I also like villains that are like I like villains that like doing destruction just for no apparent reason, just to go out and they just wake up one day and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna destroy stuff just for the heck of it. Because if I were a villain, I'd probably just do that, just wake up and just go in a grocery store or something like that and just cause mayhem just for no apparent reason, just to do it. Because I've always thought it would be fun to go in a grocery store and just completely mess it up. Because that's probably because I used to work at a really shitty grocery store, by the way. Hated that place. I hated working there. So that'd be one of the things I would do, or just to blow it up. But it'd be more fun to cause mayhem inside the store, because blowing it up would be fun to watch, but it'd be over too easy. I mean, too quickly. If I can go in the store, I can just mess it up, and I take my time doing it. And I also like very human villains, like Magneto. He's a villain that has a lot of morals. And I like villains that aren't really necessarily crazy. Like I like mob characters too, and gang members. That are portrayed in comic books and stuff like that. I like those type of characters too. I consider those villains, and they're just a lot of fun to play around with. And I think I'm kind of repeating myself, but I think they can always, you know, do something new with the villains. Whereas the hero is really hard to find something new to do with them unless you introduce a new villain. Um, and it's just really, um, I don't know. The villains are just a little more interesting than the superheroes themselves. But I always root for the good guys because I want them to win. Um, but if I were a bad guy, I'd probably be something like, I don't know who I would be more like. I want to say Lex Luthor, but he's rich, so I can't really be like him. Definitely not the Joker, because I'm not that psycho. I would be something more like, yeah, probably Prometheus. Something like Prometheus or Hush. No, not Hush, because he knows how to operate on, and he can change his face. Um, yeah, Prometheus. I'd be like something like the anti-Batman, where I have all these martial arts skills, or like Taskmaster. Like I have all these skills, but I use them for evil. And I like to fight. I definitely be something more like that. That's how I would be. Um, or I'd be something like a mob boss, like or a gang lord or something like that. Um, I'd probably be something like those type of villains than the really crazy psycho villains like Joker, or the really smart ones like Doctor Doom and Lex Luthor. Um, so I have to agree with what Deadpoolzilla said. Is just they're just really fun to play around with and exciting, and it's always cool to see who they're gonna put in the next movie, or who's gonna be the villain in the next animated series or stuff like that. And that's all I have to say on the subject. Villains are just awesome, and I enjoy them. All right, you guys, give me your thoughts on this subject. You like the villains more than the superheroes, or do you like the heroes more? I'm kind of in the middle. I like the villains and I like the heroes, but I'm always rooting for the heroes. But I do like a villain story. They're just great. All right, that's it.